So I'm going to go to Gradebook Main. And is there a specific section you're thinking of right now?
It doesn't matter, whatever one you want to click.
Okay, let's say, for example, like these are all syncing, all these scores came over from Google Classroom. Let's say, for example, we want to excuse this guy here. What you would need to do, you're going to click into the assignment itself, and you can do that just by clicking on the assignment name.
Okay.
It's actually two ways to do it, I think, but I'll show you this way. And then I'm going to go to the Scores tab here.
To Scores.
And then you'll see right here all the scores. Over here we have this excused column.
Oh, okay.
So you can check that for the student, and then you'll need to save right here by clicking on the red disk icon.
Okay, hold on. Where's this? Oh, way up at the top.
Yeah, way up at the top.
I can't see. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
And then if I want to change a score?
Yeah, so if you want to change a score, it gets a little bit trickier. You'll notice this is a grayed out, so I can't do anything in here, and that's because Synergy is saying, nope, that data is coming from Google. So what we have to do is we have to first unlock from Google so that this isn't grayed out. And the way to do that is to go here, this green button where it says locked from Google.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to click there, and then it's going to tell me, okay, now you've unlocked. And I have to save that. So I'm going to go up here and say save.
Okay.
And it should be unlocked from Google, but it doesn't look like, hold on, let me refresh this screen by going out and going back in. Yeah, so now it's letting me enter. So now I can go here and type in the score that I want. Remember though, after you type in that score, you want to lock to Google again.
Right. It was a lot easier on the old Gradebook. All you did was click that little lock, unlock, or sync or unsync. Okay, yeah. You just answered my question. Thank you, but I will stay in the meeting.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good. David, I think you were next in line, and then we have Susanna and Satina. We'll get to your questions also.
That's exactly what I was looking for too.
Okay.
How to type, because I'm moving from grades from Google Classroom, syncing it over to the Gradebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't type in there. And so that's what I was trying to figure out too.
Gotcha.
So it's clicking the assignment.
Assignment name. Yep.
Unlock.
Mm-hmm.
Save.
Correct. And then
scores.
And then change your scores. Yeah. If you guys want to skip that step of having to save, you can turn on autosave. So every time you make a click, you don't have to click the save button. And the way to turn on autosave, if you guys can see that blue disk icon way up here in the top right corner, if I right click on it, not just click straight on it, but right click on it, you can turn on autosave by toggling this on. And then that'll save you the step of making a change, saving, making another change, saving.
Okay.
Debbie, I'm going to leave that off unless you chime in, tell me you want autosave on in your account.
You better leave it off just in case I get confused. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And as a side note, if you turn on autosave, you will get an undo button, but you only get to undo once. So if I change a grade, it autosaves, I can click undo. It's only going to do that one little grade I changed though, and I won't get options to undo anything before that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. David, does that answer all your questions?
Absolutely. That's
awesome.
That was the big one.
Cool. Susanna, you're up next.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just trying to watch and learn. I mean, I'm syncing fine. I'm understanding how to put grades on the Google Classroom side. And what I just checked right now, they seem to be floating over. So that seems to be working. I did make 2 assignments earlier on where I didn't want to grade them. They were sort of just like tests for me to do and gather information and ask the kids, like tell the kids about myself. So I made those a quiz and a questionnaire, but I didn't necessarily want to grade it. Is there, showing up on the Synergy side, do I, without deleting the assignment completely, can I just give it no points without it looking bad on the student, or can I change the points it was worth?
Yeah, so you can select in Synergy not for grading. And the way to do that is you click on an assignment title. And then we're going to go to scores. I'll get to your question too, Debbie, in a second. go to scores here. Wait, oh, sorry, it's under advanced settings, not scores. And then if you scroll down here, where is it? Oh no, it's up here. Grading type. So again, I went into the assignment, click on advanced settings, grading type, it's at normal. You can choose not for grading. And then you can still input numbers, I believe, so for your own record keeping, but it's not going to include it in their grade average.
Got it. You can put not. And are you able to do that from the Google Classroom side too? Am I able to like change it to note ungraded or something like that? Have it float over?
I don't think so. Janie, can you chime in? Is there a setting for that in Google Classroom?
Yeah, in Google Classroom, you can have an ungraded assignment. The default is 100 points, right? And you could change that, but I think there's also in the dropdown ungraded.
And I can change it after the fact, like so it gave it points, and then I can just ungrade it in each class after the fact.
Part 1 tires me out some.
Okay.
I believe so. Yeah, I think so. I'm just gonna
play with that.
I don't know if you want me to show you right now, but
I can try to test it right now.
Okay.
In my own Google Classroom, I can just give it no grade and then see
yeah.
if it's over. And then just one final question. As students were moving class to class, and maybe I don't want to touch it yet because I've still got music students changing periods. But I have one music student who's completely out. So how do I just get him out of the grade book, or how do I transfer students, or is that not relevant to this particular training today?
I can still answer the question. It's nothing you can do. You have to ask the office to do that. You have to say the student was dropped. They should automatically, once the student gets removed from a class, they drop them in Synergy. And once they drop them in Synergy, then you won't see them, pop up in your seating chart anymore. And they also, if you're syncing with Google Classroom, once they've been dropped from Synergy, the People's tab in Google Classroom here will update with the current roster. So they'll also be dropped from here.
Oh, so it's supposed to be automatic.
It is, yeah. Unless the office didn't drop them or things like that.
Hi, Miranda. It's not automatic. You have to go in manually and drop your students in Classroom.
In Google Classroom, really?
Yeah. For me, anyway. Satina's shaking her head also.
Me too.
For you too, Satina? Okay. Thanks for, Satina, is that why you were raising your hand?
No, I also, in case you don't know, there is a trick as well. If you don't want Google Classroom to tell Synergy it's an assignment, there's a code you can do.
Exclude, yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. I'll show that.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. And so we should look into that, because our understanding was that if a kid gets dropped in Synergy, they also get removed from the Google Classroom. But what you can do, if you have to manually remove them from Google Classroom, you click, I'm on the People tab, you click on the 3 dots next to their name and you can say remove there. Good to know. Thank you for letting us know that. What Satina was talking about to tell Google Classroom you don't want an assignment to come over into Synergy. If you go up to this G icon here and go to the settings gear, there is, which Debbie already has one set up, what's called a sync block phrase. So it's like a little code that you're going to tell Google Classroom. You put this in she's set it to just the letters DM. If she puts this in the instructions field of an assignment in Google Classroom, Synergy is going to scan that assignment, and when it sees that code DM in the instructions field, it's going to know not to sync it over. And that would be in this, like in the classwork assignment, in this field here is where you would type that DM. Or whatever your sync block phrase, that's her one that she set up specifically. You would need to go to your this area here, and that there's a default one, I forget what it is, like block sync or something, but if you go there, you could set it to whatever you want.
Miranda, can you show really quick how to hide the score mark column? Like in the options, I think it's one of the toggle things.
Yeah, thank you. So right here we have score and mark. If you want to hide those, you go to options and then display over here. Is that what it is? No, maybe it's students. Yeah, here it is. So it's under, again, options, the students tab right here, class marks. You can toggle that on or off. Notice when I turned off marks, that column went away. And now class percent. If I turn that off, that other column went away.
And those are the same as the other score mark on the blue?
Yeah, that's the column I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know how to hide this one. I don't, so far from my research, you can't. This is the average for what you haven't set up units when you create assignments in Synergy. You have the option to flag them with units. So this is what is the average for the whole unit, which in this case is all the assignments anyways. So these are going to be identical. But yeah, I haven't figured out a way to hide this blue bar.
I know I played with it a little bit and I was able to hide it just for the moment, but the minute I went to another class, it would pop up. So it would hide temporarily. I think it was on the reports tab maybe, but it only hides it temporarily. It still continues to pop up.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I haven't found a way to hide it either.
Oh, darn.
But we'll let you know if we do, yeah.
We have a question in the chat too.
Okay.
Other than putting it in after the date, is there a way to not have Synergy send assignments to Google Classroom?
Yeah, so that's the kind of the way that I was, for Synergy, the other way, sorry, Synergy not to send it to Google Classroom. I think that would just be the, let me go, I don't want to create an assignment in Debbie's gradebook, but if you go over here and you just, so let's say you create, let me do it this way and see, I'll do it without actually saving it, Debbie. I don't want to scare you. So you would, let me show that again. Explain my steps. I clicked on the plus sign. I went, and then I'm going to assignment, like I'm going to create a new assignment here in Synergy, give it the title, all that good stuff. And then over here, it's by default published to Google. You can just turn that off and it won't publish to Google Classroom. So this button kind of works both ways for something coming over from Google to kind of unlock it, and also to tell Synergy not to push a Synergy assignment to Google. Satina, I think you were next in line. Do you have specific questions, or you're just kind of here to learn?
Yeah, I was here to learn, and then
Okay.
I also, that was my question.
Oh, perfect. That worked out well. Cool. Rosie, I noticed, do you have a question for us?
Yes, I actually do. I wanted to know, and I'm not sure, I know I came in a little bit late, but how do I apply the assignments to multiple classes? And I don't know if you covered that already.
Yeah, that's okay. I haven't talked about that yet. Are you syncing with Google?
No, I'm not.
Okay. That makes my answer a little easier. So that, so the way to do that is you're going to go to the plus sign, like you're going to create a brand new assignment, and then click the assignment option. You're going to, give it your name, whatever it is, all this good stuff. And then over here under advanced settings, this is really hidden. So it's a good question to ask. Over here in the bottom right corner, it says courses, add to all courses. You're going to toggle that on, and then you'll see these checkboxes of the other sections to apply it to. Something you might notice, so this one is grayed out because it's the section that I'm currently focused in. So it's like, obviously, if you're creating it here, you want it here. It's all Synergy also sees other sections that are identical. So this is another Culinary Arts 1 class. So it's automatically going to try and apply it to that one. Trying to save you a step. But some people are like, no, I don't want it in that other one. This is where you would uncheck that. And then you also could, so I could uncheck that if I don't want it in that other identical section. I could also check additional ones if I wanted it in all of them, for example. I could do that. And then make sure you save.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Sure. And I'm going to X out of here so I don't mess up Debbie's gradebook. Other questions?
I'll pipe in.
Yeah, go for it.
So when, I have projects, I have sketchbook assignments, and then participation is kind of not actually something they're turning in.
Mm-hmm.
So would I do that unlocking and then just enter an assignment in Gradebook and then fill them in manually?
Is this something that you're planning on posting in Google Classroom? Like you're going to create an assignment in Google Classroom called participation?
No.
Or no, you'd want it just in Synergy for your like record keeping
Just for the
purposes.
Gradebook. So they get points for participation, but
Mhm.
I guess I could set it up as an assignment. Would
Yeah.
that'd be the easiest, wouldn't it?
It kind of depends on what platform you like to work with the best, I think. We do recommend that, like, if you're a Google Classroom person, to try and create and grade everything there and just have it sync over to Synergy. Because when you start playing with I created it in Classroom and then graded it here, or vice versa, or you're unlocking and locking, that's when people, call us and say, like, it's not working right. So
I like
you
it.
could.
I will. I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll create it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And then we just had someone new join us. And do you pronounce your name Bern?
Mhm.
Bernie? Yeah, did I get it right?
Yes.
Bernie. Cool.
Miranda,
Hi, how are you?
tired.
I'm with you. We're all with you, I'm sure. Do you have any specific questions that you were hoping to get answered?
I do. Sorry I came in late. I didn't even know about this. But anyways, how do I fill in let's say what's on the screen right now? There's 3 or 4 students with no marks.
Mm-hmm.
How do I go in and autofill, let's say, with zeros or M that says the M that's equal 40% or something like that?
Yeah, so I'm going to turn on an option here. That's the fill down option. So I go over to options. I'm going to go to I think it's grading, and then turn on fill down grades. And that's going to save me a step rather than having to go here and say 0, and then a 0 here and a 0 here. I now, hopefully, let me see if I type in a number.
I saw that. I don't think I'm going to have time to do it.
Oh, this one's
Yeah,
locked
'cause I'm
to
on
Google,
a
that's why.
phone.
Bernie, sorry, I should ask a question. Is this an assignment that's synced to Google? The one that you want to
No.
add the zeros to? Okay,
No.
so let me, so the way to do that, let me see if I still have my test environment up, because I could show you better there. So we're here, Gradebook main. Come on, Gradebook. So I'm going to go over to options and turn on fill down. And I'm going to save. And now if I click here, I can put in a 0, and I just really quickly want it to populate to all the other blank fields here. Now I can use this fill down arrow here. If I click once, it'll only fill in the blanks and go around all the other scores. Be careful though, because if you click twice, it'll overwrite all the scores below it.
Ooh,
So
scary.
yeah, so for that reason, maybe you don't want to have autosave on, but so yeah, so it's just put in the
How do you
score, click the fill
turn off
down.
autosave?
You right now you'll know if you see the red disk icon with these number of unsaved changes, it's not on. If you want to turn it on or off, you have to right click in this area, and then you have the option to turn on or toggle off autosave. Did you also have a question about missing assignments?
Yes. How do I go to the category where I assign a letter to represent a certain percentage?
Yeah, so I'm going to go, there's a few steps to that. It's asking me to save, I'll save. I'm going to go to Gradebook and then go to Gradebook Setup. And then I'm going to, over on the top here, we have Gradebook Comments. I'm going to click on that because Synergy sees missing as like a comment or comment code. Hopefully I'm going to click on that and it'll open. There it goes. And then I'm going to, right here where it says missing, there's this little tiny paper and pencil is the edit button. I'm going to click on that to say I want to edit my missing comment code. And then here, the not scored value, you can put in a percentage here. So I could say, if I give it a missing comment code, I want it to be where it's going to automatically score it as 40%. The other last thing you need to change here is removed when scored. You want to turn that off because it's going to say, do you want me to remove, do you want me to remove that missing comment code once you score it with this 40%? And my guess is you probably don't. You probably want to keep track of the fact that they got 40 because it was missing, or it's up to you.
No, once they turn in.
You want it, okay. And
Right.
then, yeah, and then you just have to click save here and it'll save that value.
One more fast question. So when we're setting up our grade book, I'm not sure that new teachers know that they have to go in and do like the 40, 40, 20 for the quarters and the semesters. Is that something that the tech department can maybe put out like a cheat sheet or something for some,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some of the older, because I didn't remember to do it until I started digging into your tech page and I said, oh gosh, I didn't even remember to do that.
Yeah, so those are all kind of site specific. Like I know PV High has a different system for weighting, but we could create, if we got something from like your admin saying what their suggested weighting is, we could create a video that's specific to your school site
Or
on
you
where
could
to do that.
It doesn't have to be those specific numbers, but I completely
Just a
thought
general.
I needed to go in and weight those quarters and that. And then
That's a great idea.
we don't necessarily weight our assignments though. Is that correct? Because I do strictly points and they're all worth the same. If it's a homework assignment, if it's an in-class assignment, they're all worth just points, not weighting. Is that correct? I don't have to put weighting in for assignments, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think that's teacher preference.
Okay.
But you don't have, it's Synergy's kind of default where it's not weighting assignments. So if you don't mess with anything, then you're good. Yeah.
Miranda, Dan might have the step-by-steps if that didn't change in this later update for the weights.
Yeah, and I feel like Janie posted a link in the chat to our help page, Synergy Teacher, and I feel like we might have something there.
Yeah, I think in the secondary gradebook setup area, I think that's where the weighting and configuration is. But also